Hey guys, Mr. Decker here. This is code.org, the Computer Science Discoveries, Lesson 6, Styling Text with CSS. We're looking at Bubble 1, and it says, click the website below to discover some new types of styling for your pages. Let's go ahead and click there. All right, we've got Andrew's reading list of great speeches. So automatically, or instantly rather, I can see here that we have some new looks that we can create. So up here, we haven't turned anything purple yet. We haven't made anything italics yet, or underlined or red. This is pretty cool. So there's lots of new stuff being done here that I'm sure we will learn to do as we move through this lesson. I'm going to click this back button. It takes me back to Bubble 1, and then let's hit this continue button to head to Bubble 2. Bubble 2, it says adding style. This web page project is using new language to add style to the page. With a partner, explore both the index.html and style.css files. Be ready to discuss the following questions. What changes is this new language making to the page? All right, let's answer that one first. So on the index.html, we have an h1 tag, h2, and another h1 tag. Let's turn the inspector tool on. So right here, that h1 tag, what we're about to learn a new language, and then here, and it's going to help us add style. But how does it work? Well, let's head over to the style.css file over here in the file space and take a look at what's going on. So, it looks like we have a rule set here for the h1 tags being established, and it's making this blue and making this, come on, stop highlighting. Turn the inspector tool on. There we go. Then let's head back to CS. There we go. Okay. Let's turn that off. All right. There we go. Finally. So we got a rule set for this h1 tag, and this is the CSS code. We can kind of guess that since we're looking at the style sheet and the CSS file here. We're turning it the color blue, and we're also aligning the text to be centered, and it is centered on the web page over here. And then down here we have an H2 rule set, and the text is aligned to the right, and it is, and it wants the color to be red. Okay, cool. So that's how it's making this H1 and this H2 those colors and aligning them where they are on the page. Pretty cool. All right, and it looks like there's another question. How is this language different from HTML? Let's look at it. So you have these curly braces being used. That's different. We have colons and semicolons getting used in this code. Whereas on the HTML, it's really just these tags, right? To add structure to the page. We're adding style to the page with the CSS code by creating these wet rule sets for each of the tags that we're using on the HTML page. It wouldn't let me click there. And that's how they're connected. They're connected really right here with this link tag, and it's linking it to the style sheet, letting it know, and then giving it the reference file name over here for where to get that information from. All right, let's finish. Let's go to Bubble 3, and it looks like we have a video to watch.
I'm Danny, and I'm a curriculum writer at code.org. In college, I took my interest in sports and combined it with my interest in computer science. And I worked on a robotics team, and we actually competed internationally, so around the world. So I got to travel to Istanbul and Mexico, and I love how it connects to every field and any interest you have. As you've been building your websites, you learn to use HTML to give it structure. We've learned to define headings, lists, paragraphs, and images to make your website start to look the way you want. But usually just giving a website structure isn't enough. You want to give it style to fully bring the content to life. The same website about fitness could have a sleek and simple style or a quirky and eclectic style, and each would feel different to your user. Web developers can control the style of a web page using a language called CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS allows a web developer to define a specific set of style rules to apply to HTML elements on the page. Let's take a look at how to use CSS to create style rules for a simple web page about fitness. First, we'll write the CSS to turn all the paragraph text purple, to indicate that we want to apply a set of rules to all the paragraph elements. We write the name of the tag P, followed by an open, and then a closed curly brace. We refer to the P here as the selector. The selector indicates the type of element the style rule will apply to. Next, we need to indicate what about the paragraphs we'd like to change. In this case, we want to change the color of the paragraph text. This part of the rule is called a property. And color is just one of the many properties we can change about a paragraph. A property is followed by a colon. Finally, we need to specify the value we want for that property. To make the paragraph purple, let's add the word purple after the property. And finally, add a semicolon to indicate the end of the style rule. The CSS that we just wrote is called a rule set because, like the name implies, it's a set of rules to specify a style for the selected element. We can add multiple property value pairs to the same selector to further control the style of our web page's paragraph elements. If we want these paragraphs to be purple and large, we can add the font size property to control the text size. Then specify a number value to set how large the font will be. CSS allows for all sorts of style rules: fonts, positioning, size, and colors. The more style rules you learn, the more you can make your web page tell the story you want.
All right, let's continue. Okay, and we have one of these icons again that means that this level is part of a larger project, so changes are going to be saved across levels. All right, good to know. This says CSS and text color. This HTML file uses a style sheet, style.css, to give the page a particular style. The style sheet contains information about what each of the HTML elements should look like. Do this. Find the code in the style sheet by clicking on style.css in the file list that is making the H1 heading red. And then change the code for the color of the H1 heading from red to a different color. So let's head to the style sheet. Here's the on line 2, we're turning the H1 red. And let's see. Change the code for the color of the H1 heading from red to a different color. All right, we can do that. So from red to blue. Odd World Records. Oh, and look, that was cool. Did you see that? Neat. I've got this drop down of a bunch of different colors I can use. Let's use dark slate blue. And if it didn't automatically update for you, you can always press that refresh and save button to make it work. All right, very cool. So we just changed a rule for the H1 tags. And I think that's all we were supposed to do there, so let's finish. And then it says making a new CSS rule set. We're on bubble 5, and it says the block of code that gives rules for a particular tag. It's called a rule set. You can make a new rule set by copying the pattern you see in the rule set for the H1 tag. Okay. Let's see, do this. Find the CSS rule set. We'll head to the style sheet then. That determines the style for the H1 tag. So here's the rule set for the H1 tag. And using the same pattern, write a new CSS rule set that will determine the style for the h3 tag. Okay. Add code to set a different color for the h3 tag. So I'm going to head over to the index.html file. I want to look at where these h3 tags are utilized. All right, so most M&Ms eaten blindfolded with a chopstick in 1 minute. That is an odd world record. Largest bubble blown in the hula hoop marathon. All right, so we have 3 h3s. Let's head back over here. I'm going to put my cursor at the end of line 8. I'm going to enter down twice. I'm going to type in h3, and then I'm going to make my curly braces. If you're looking for the curly brace on your keyboard because you've never thought about it or you've never typed it before, they are next to the letter P on the top row of the letters for your keyboard. Oh, and there we go. Shift click, and I'll make some space to put my rules in here. All right, so let's change the color. And when I type color, I can click here and then choose a color. Let's go with cadet blue. That'll look good, especially with that dark slate blue at the top already. And then there's one thing missing still. I need to put in the semicolon. There we go. And that establishes that rule. Refresh and save. Let's head back over to the HTML page, and I think that's all it wanted us to do here. Alrighty. Finish. We're on bubble 6, and it says changing text size. You can control other things besides colors by using other properties. Do this. Find the CSS rule set in the style sheet that determines the style for the paragraph tag. Okay, let's head to the style sheet again. Here's the rule set for the paragraph tag. Change the text size of the paragraphs and the headings. All right, so we can see on line 3 here for the H1 rule set, it's already setting the font size to 24 pixels. And there you go. And then we're setting the font size is already set for the paragraphs to 14 pixels. So we just need to change the size of the paragraphs and the headings. So all 3. So I'm going to go ahead and change this size. I'm going to make this one larger. Let's see, maybe like 40. Yeah, that looks good. Automatically updated too. That's good. And then for the paragraphs, I'm not sure. I really want to see what the paragraphs are going to look like after I change the size of the H3 tag. So I'm going to put font hyphen size, and then I can select font size from here. It goes ahead and puts that colon in. And then when you're determining the height or size of the font, it's 14px there, 40px there. So it looks like I need to add a px to the end of my value. So I want my H3 tags to be smaller than my H1 title. So let's see, that's 40, so maybe 30 for these, px. And let's add the semicolon. I'm going to make this 25 instead. That's a little too big. That's perfect though. And then the font size for the paragraph is 14. Let's make that a little bit easier to read. I'm going to change that to 18. That looks good. All right, and back over here, that's all it wanted us to do for this bubble, so let's move on. We're on bubble 7, and it looks like bubble 7 is a video. Let's go ahead and watch it.
Now we know how to create rule sets in CSS, but where do we put them? And how will our web page know how to apply these rules? All of our CSS rules will live in a file separate from the HTML. We'll refer to this file as the style sheet for the web page. The file name usually ends in .css. Now our style sheet exists, but the web page doesn't know about it yet. We need to add a link element in the HTML file telling it about the style sheet. When the browser goes to load the contents of the web page, it will see that link element for the style sheet and use those style rules to figure out how the page should be displayed. To add a link to the style sheet, we add the link tag. Inside the tag, we specify that the link is to a style sheet and add the name of the CSS file.
All right, short and sweet and very informative. The best kind of video. Let's see. Adding a style sheet. This developer has been working on some style for the page, but has forgotten to add the style sheet, so none of them are working. Do this. Inside the HTML page, add the code that will link the style sheet to the web page. All right. So that's what the code will look like. Here's another example of what the code will look like. This is also telling us where to put the code. So it looks like we put them between the start and end head tags. And then after we put it in, we need to verify that everything's working. So let's link the style sheet. It looks like it's the style sheet we were working on in past bubbles. All right, so less than symbol, link, rel, equals, in quotation marks, style sheet, and then space, href. And when you click on these things, it already starts helping you fill it out. So that's pretty helpful. I like that a lot. What? That's not the colors or the sizes of stuff that I picked before. Interesting. It bamboozled me. All right. Well, we've got it working. We verified that the website has updated. So over here on the style sheet, purple, orange, and teal. What's teal? The paragraphs are teal? I can't even tell that's teal. It's so small. 6 pixels. Let's see if we can change that to 18 so I can see it. To 30. And 50 is fine for those. But yeah, now I can see what I'm looking at. All right, let's finish and continue. Ooh, it's time to do some practice. All right, bubble 9. Styling text with CSS. Try out your new skills on these different challenges. Choose from the following activities. Let's do them all. There's a bunch of them. All right, debug that font size. Someone submitted a bug report on this webpage. Can you fix the bug? What we expected to happen is that the paragraph font size would be 24 pixels, but instead the paragraph font is the default size. So let's see if we can find what the problem is. Here's our paragraphs. We want it to be 24 pixels. So let's head over to the style sheet. I see the problem immediately. Remember putting in the font size earlier? It has that hyphen in the middle of it. Now it's all. Did you see that happen instantly? I'm going to take that back out. Ooh, tiny, big, tiny, big. Good job, code.org. WebLab, you kept up with me. Good job. All right, so let's check on B here about the author debug the missing paragraph style. What we expected to happen is that the paragraph's color would be gray, but instead it's black. So do this, find and fix the problem that's causing the bug. All right, let's check the link first, make sure that's done correctly. It looks good. And over to the style sheet, its color is supposed to be gray. Oh, okay. It doesn't have the curly braces, so I need to put a curly brace here. And it automatically did the end one, so I'm going to Control C that one, take it out of there, put my cursor at the end of line 9, hit enter, and then throw that in with Control V. And then it made it gray. That fixed that. It was just missing the curly braces for the paragraph rule set. Pretty easy. Let's finish. And let's debug the missing heading style. They wanted the heading to be green, but instead the heading color is black. So let's go to the style sheet. Let's see, color lime green. Oh, okay. So similar problem to what we had last time, where the curly braces were the issue. In this case, we need to change the brackets to curly braces. So let's do that. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Curly brace. And now it's green. The H1 tag is green now. Perfect. Let's finish. Let's do D together. It's debug the missing styles. All right. Oh, goodness. There's lots missing. Lots of problems on this one. Heading 1 color should be blue. Heading 2 color should be green. The paragraph font should be 12 pixels tall. Let's see. What happened instead is everything is default. Okay. So here's the paragraph rule set, and the font should be 12 pixels. What's wrong with it? Oh, okay. So these are fine. I was looking at these and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. So back on the index page, do you see what's missing? Do you see what's missing causing all these problems? We didn't link to the style sheet. So let's make that link tag. Link. What did that look like again? What bubble was that on? Bubble 8? Yep. So link REL. Try to remember that. Link REL. Hit that back button. Let's head back in here. Link REL equals was it style sheet? Yep. And then the next thing is space href. Go ahead and click there, and then we're linking it to the style sheet. There we go. All right. So if you wanted to type that out entirely, that's what you would need to type. So you can hit pause, and you've got it there. And now everything's updated and looks the way we intended, at least according to the bug report. Let's finish. And let's go to E here, add a heading rule set. Here's an opportunity to be creative and customize the heading. Do this, add a rule set for the heading. Okay, so we've only got, well, we have 2 headers, but it only said we want a rule set for the heading. I'm assuming they mean the title up there, the H1 tag. So let's head over here, enter down a couple times, and we're making a rule set for the H1 tag. Let's go ahead and put in those curly braces, enter a couple times, go back up to line 6, and we're putting in a rule set for the heading. So let's put in multiple rules for this. I want the color to be dark gray. That's kind of the color of an elephant. That was my entire decision-making process. And then let's make the size a lot bigger, because elephants are a lot bigger. Let's see. Font size. Click it. And by the way, let me show you something cool. So you can scroll down in here until you find the rule you want to mess with, like font size. And then again, when you're changing the font size, you're setting the pixel height. So 30px for 30 pixels. Let's refresh and save. Oh, it didn't make it any bigger, really. Let's try 40. Yeah, there we go. Let's try 50. Even better. Okay, index page. We added a rule set. Okay, cool. Let's finish. And then we've got selling a used television. All right. Adding a paragraph rule set. Here's an opportunity to be creative and customize the paragraph, add a rule set for the paragraph. So let's head to the style sheet, enter down a couple times, P for paragraph, and then our curly braces, enter a couple times, and then let's do a color, and let's choose something quickly. Let's just do, we're selling TVs, we'll go with cadet blue, semicolon, arrow down to that next line, and we know how to do the font size, so let's go ahead and knock that out. Let's see. Font size of, what do you think? It's just the paragraph, so it doesn't need to be super big, but 18px helps me see stuff a lot better on the screen. There we go. Let's get a little bit creative. Let's do like font family, and let's choose a different font style for this. Let's do monospace. There we go. All right, I'll stop right there and let's finish. And let's do E, add a style sheet. Here's an opportunity to get creative and practice everything you've learned about style. Do this, add a style sheet and rule sets. So to add a style sheet to your file space over here, first we need to click add CSS. And then I want to name it, instead of new, I'm going to just name it style.css, like we've seen before. And it looks like I already have some rule sets established already. I've got a body rule set, a paragraph rule set, and an H1 rule set. Let's change the background color. Now let's make it something kind of light-ish so that we can put darker and brighter text on it. Azure. Refresh. Oh, you know what? It's not going to do anything over there until I link the style sheet. So on line 3, where that start head tag is, we're going to hit the enter key to create a blank line 4 so we can put in that link tag. Link rel. Yep. And we're linking the style sheet. And href style.css end. There we go. And back onto the style sheet. So now I have that new color for my background. Let's see. H1 rule set, font weight, bold. Let's also change the font size. And let's change the font size to 50px. It seems to be a trend. And then because it's flowers, let's make it like fuchsia or something. Font, color. Nope, just color right there, right? Color. And let's see if blue violet would work. Coral would be cool. Yeah, I like that. And then black for the paragraphs is fine, but I want that font size for the paragraphs to be 18 pixels. And let's see. Let's do something else cool for the, I forgot my semicolon. Let's do something else cool. So text, decoration, and I'm going to have it be underlined. And I'm going to go back to the index page and figure out, those are H2 tags. So rose, hibiscus, and Rafflesia arnoldi. Yeah, I probably butchered pronouncing that, but I tried. And let's create a rule set for the H3 tag. H3 space, curly braces, enter a couple times, back up with the arrow key, and let's see, what color do I want these to be? Color, let's do blue violet. Oh, whoops, let's do H2 for that. My bad. There we go. Rose, hibiscus, Rafflesia arnoldi. I don't know. And then semicolon. Let's do the next rule for this rule set for the H2s. Let's also do a text decoration for these. And let's do an overline for those. That's cool. For introduction, the H3, let's do an H3 tag rule set. So for H3, we're going to do, let's change the font family for the introduction. It's kind of different from everything else. So font family, what's fantasy do? Whoa, okay, we'll go with it. We'll ride with that. And then semicolon. And up here, do I want to change anything else? I could also change, what is that? The flowers one. That's an H5, okay. To make it kind of like bold text. But I want that to be bigger. So let's make an H5 rule set. So font size. And let's make that like, let's make it 14px. Let's do 16. Yeah, that's better. Cool. All right, I'm happy with that. We've made lots of new rule sets. Made the background that light blue color, azure. Let's finish. All right, and let's finish down here. Bubble 10, here's an opportunity to be creative and have some fun with styles. Do this, link the style sheet to the web page. So let's put that link tag up here, Ariel. We're linking the style sheet, space, href, and we're connecting it to the style sheet. Intag. There we go. So now we're connected to the style sheet. So make the paragraph a different size. So let's do a paragraph rule set. And it's a different size. So font size, typing it all out this time, of 18px. We'll just stick with that number. We've been using it already. And then make the paragraph text a different color. So color, and let's make it blue violet. That'll work for me. Semicolon on the end, never forget that. Okay, so we just needed to make the paragraph text different size and a different color, and we linked the style sheet. Let's finish. And all right, we've got some more challenges and extra code to learn. There are lots of different ways to style text. Use the challenges below to get new ideas for your web page. All right, extra code, font family. Hey, I kind of showed you that a little earlier. Maybe I jumped the gun on that a little bit. All right, changing the font. Find the CSS rule set in the style sheet that determines the style for the paragraph tag. So let's go to the style sheet. Here's the paragraph tag rule set. And let's change the font family and choose which one we like the best. So right now it's set to cursive. Let's change the font family. So if you back all the way out and then click here, it will give you the drop down for what's available. We've seen monospace and we saw fantasy. We see cursive over here. Let's try inherit. Does that do anything? It changed it a little bit. And then choose from serif, sans serif, cursive, fantasy, and monospace. Oh, well, I didn't read the directions. I'm sorry, teacher. Okay, back. Let's do that again. Font family, and it wants me to choose from serif, sans serif, cursive, fantasy, and monospace. Well, it was already cursive, so I definitely need to change it. Let's do sans serif. And then add a font family rule for the H1 or H3 tags. Well, I want this to be uniform, so I'm just going to copy this line, Control C, Control V, or H3 tags. There's no H3 rule set, so we'll go down and we'll create one. H3, curly braces, font family, and we're going to make this sans serif also. Control C, Control V. There we go. Now it's all the same text or same kind of font style, right? Font family. They're all in the same family. They're friends. Their family and their friends. Okay. Go away. Thank you. Extra code underlining. Put lines under, over, or through your text. I also kind of taught you how to do this already. Find the code in the style sheet that makes the H4 tag double underlined. Double underlined. You can double underline? Underline double? There it is. Neat. Never done that before. Change the text decoration to something else. Okay. All right, so here's where it's getting underlined. So we'll back all the way out. Text decoration, text decoration. How did you add the double? I wonder, so if I do a line through it, semicolon, don't forget. If I say double line through, there's 2 lines. If I do triple line through, nope, triple is not a thing. So double line through, that's cool. Let's look at what the overline looks like. You saw that earlier. Text decoration, overline, semicolon. There's the overline over it. Now I want to see if double overline. You can just double everything. You can just double everything these days. I want a double soda and a double cheeseburger. Let's see, double everything. Double fries. Just double up my order. Just double it. All right. Add a text decoration for the paragraph H1, H2, or H3 tag. So here's H1. Let's do a underline text decoration. That makes sense to me. Text decoration, underline, semicolon. How to make boba. Do you enjoy delicious boba tea? I do enjoy delicious boba tea. Let's see. Let's finish. Let's head on to C, extra code align text. All right. The text align property sets the horizontal side-to-side position of the text within each line. Find the CSS code that is making the from Wikipedia in the H6 tag align to the right. So from Wikipedia, that's way over here in tiny. Let's go to the style sheet. That's an H6 tag. Text align right. Okay, I found it. Change the H1 tag so that it is aligned to... What? Find the CSS code that is making that align to the right. Okay, yep. We found that, and it's aligned to the right. That's all you wanted me to do? Just find it? Okay. Change the H1 tag so that it's aligned to the center of the page. All right, H1. We're going to text align center. And it automatically updated over here. That's awesome. Change the alignment of the paragraph tag as well. Okay, so text align. I like that I only had to type a TE to get text align, and then justified. Yeah, justify. Sure. And that does that one. Finish. And let's look at extra code text shadow. I can give shadows to my text. Neat. The text shadow property sets a shadow for the text elements. Find the CSS code, said there, that is giving the letters in Stradivarius violins a shadow in the H1 tag. So up here we have Stradivarius violins. That's the H1 text shadow minus or negative 2 pixels, 2 pixels, black. Okay. Give the H2 tag a shadow space 2 pixels to the right and up from the original text. I'm not sure what you mean exactly by all that, but we'll try. Text shadow. There it is, way down here. Text shadow. And this is supposed to do what now? Give the H2 tag a shadow spaced 2 pixels to the right and up from the original text. 2px. 2px? What? That looks weird. Black. It is okay. So I think I'm getting how that works. So if it's negative 2 here, it sends it to the left. Let's test that theory. Okay, so if it's okay, so look over here. Look here. And I'm going to be adding and taking away that minus or the hyphen. So -2, it's on the left. The shadow is on the left of the original character. And if it's a +2, it switches over to the right of the original character. That's kind of cool. So if these are both negative, what does that do? Oh, it moves it up. So that's what it meant by to the right and up. So over here, this second 2 needs to be a minus, and that sends it up. Neat. That's something I legit want to remember how to do, because that's cool, and I want to use it later on my personal website. Give text shadow other tags as well. Oh, whoops. I didn't do that, did I? Let's head back to it. And let's go back to the style sheet, because I forgot to do the rest of it. Give a text shadow to the other tags. All right, so I'm going to do it the lazy way. Control-C, Control-V, Control-V. Whoa, that hurts my eyes. Ouch. Let's change that from black to like purple. Oh man, that's uncomfortable to look at, isn't it? But this is what they asked for. Pink. Yeah, instead of purple, let's do that azure again. That way I can read it a little better, because azure is not a bright color. That is really bad looking. But that's what it asked us to do. Give your text shadow to other tags as well to make it look like it's really terrible and hard to read. All right, finish. Let's do this. Okay, add to your web page. Add CSS to the web page you made for your HTML mini project. So it should pull up my mini project from the last lesson. And I'm going to leave this alone and just let you have fun here. That's the end of the lesson for me. But I do want you to go ahead and add a CSS rule set. Make sure you rename that to style.css. And then back over here, you need to add that link tag between the head tags. So link rel, and you need to tell the computer you're linking it to a style sheet. And then you need to tell the computer which file we're telling it to pull from. So that is going to be the style.css, and then end that. And now you're ready to head over here and start making your rule sets for all of the tags. So if you were doing this with me before, you probably have an H1 tag. You probably have a couple of paragraph tags. You might have some H3 tags, or you may have chosen a different size for your subheaders. And then you can actually change your lists as well. You can change things about that also. Yeah, actually, I'll show you how to do that. So let's do a couple things actually. So I kind of fibbed there. I am going to show you how to do some different things, in particular with the list. So let's not get carried away. So let's do the OL. Well, let's do it in the order that we have it on the screen. Let's do the unordered list first. The unordered list, remember, is the bulleted list. And let's see. We'll do text decoration. Let's do overline. What does that do? Oh, you know what? Let's not do a text decoration. Let's not do a text decoration. What are some other things we can do though? Transform it, transform style, filter, break after, white space, align content. Let's get the background to be a different color first. I'm liking Azure today, and let's change the H1 a little bit. Make it bigger, font size 40px, semicolon. Let's do a text decoration for that and get it underlined, semicolon. And let's also change the color to blue violet. And then, okay. What do I want to change about this? I want it to stand out on the page. So let's change the color. And let's see, something that will stand out really well. Crimson, that looks nice. And let's do can I do borders? Let's try a border. Not sure what to type here. 2px maybe? Nope. Maybe a border color. Blue. Oh, I'm not sure how to make a border around that. Let me pause. I'll be back. And we're back, and I remembered how to do this. So it's been a little bit since the last time I've worked with HTML extensively. So let's fix the border for that. So border color is fine, but we need a border style for it first. Border style. And we're just going to do solid. Semicolon. There we go. Haha. See? Haha. See? You can also round that, but I'm not going to do that today. But we are going to copy this, Control C, Control V. I'm just going to change this to OL. And now both of my lists look nice. And I'm also going to add one more thing, just an H2 rule set. Or wait, what size did I use? H3. My bad. H3 rule set. Just kidding. Okay, and I want the font size of this to be a little bit bigger. Let's do 30px. Semicolon. And Let's underline that. Text decoration. Actually, let's overline those. And I think over here, right there, I'm going to add a horizontal rule. Refresh and save. Now I've got a line break between my two sections there. Sweet. I like that a lot. Did I change my paragraphs to 18? Nope. Last thing. Very, very last thing. Font size. 18px. We've been doing that all day. Excellent. And the real feature of this is the lists, or are the lists. So let's real feature share. We got the lists. Font size for this. Let's do like 22 px. Semicolon. And we can copy that and do the same thing for the OL down there. There we go. Amazing. We did it. All right. I'm happy with that. Finish. And we've done all of the challenges. We're going to stop right there. Hope you enjoyed this lesson as much as I did. I'll see you for the next one.